Well, hello, my friend. This is episode 27 of the Clinical Entrepreneur Podcast. I'm your host, Rhonda Nelson. I'm so glad that you are back with me today. We're going to be talking about making connection with your patients. Now, as a woman, I am a connector. I love to create relationships. I'm passionate about having community and being in relationship with each other. And so this particular topic is one that I love because I think that we sometimes think about community with our patients. We think about it, community, not with our patients as much. We think with our patients, it's that doctor patient relationship. But we think about community in the our social networks and our peer-to-peer networks, colleagues, etc., other maybe community relationships you have. Those are where we think about community, but I'm telling you, my friend, I'm a firm believer in creating and building community with your patients. So let's think about this from a different perspective. So if you were a patient, you got to put your you got to be a patient now. You can't be a practitioner, you got to be a patient. Put your patient hat on and imagine for a moment that you are walking into a brand new clinic, whether it's an alternative healthcare clinic, which is what we all do, or whether it's just a medical clinic. But you walk in and you don't know what to expect. And you've probably filled out some paperwork. You get into the clinic and the receptionist is there and she just looks up at you and says, "Can I help you?" Well, time out. That is a huge pet peeve for me. Well, of course you can help me. I'm here. Like, don't ever let your staff say that. But anyway, that's another subject. So imagine you're sitting there and you wait, and the person behind the counter says, "Can I help you?" And you say, "Well, yeah, I'm here for my appointment." They say, "Well, what's your name?" And you tell them your name. So far, it's not jiving too good. Like it's not feeling like the love's not happening. And then you get taken back and you get your weight and your height and your vitals and da da da, and you go back and you sit in a room and you're just waiting, 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 waiting. The practitioner walks in and says, "Hello, John. I see that you're here today for hypertension. And so let me ask you a couple questions." "Okay, great. I'm going to give you a prescription, or I'm going to give you supplements, or I'm going to prescribe an exercise regimen, or help you with your stress, whatever it is." And the doctor leaves. So all you did as a patient is go to a practitioner so you could check off a box. Basically, you went in, you checked off a box. Yep, I went, got this prescription or supplement or exercise or whatever. I got my thing to do, or it's another test or whatever it is. You just checked off a box. How satisfying is that? Anyone can do that. Any practitioner can do that. What you and I want to do is build connection and create community within our patients. Now, that can feel a little scary because what it feels like is, "Oh, I don't know about that. I don't think I want to get that close." I'm not asking you to get close. I am, though, going to say, how about you start being a real human, not just the person who comes in and yap, 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 and then out the door you go. We need to connect, and some are better than others. But for those of you, if you're watching or listening and you are thinking, "Yep, I'm not so great at it," I'm going to help you. So, the first thing I want you to think about is when you meet that person and they come in, they're asking for your help. How does that connection feel to you? Do you kind of feel like you got the vibe, like you really like them, or they just rub you the wrong way? We've all had patients like that. It just happens. They just come in and they just rub you the wrong way. A client walks in the door and they just start talking, and you're like, "Ooh, this isn't working for me. I don't think I'm the right fit for this person." Doesn't make them wrong. It just means that my energy, their energy, it's not happening. So the first thing is you don't need to make connections, so to speak, with every single patient, because some of them are just not going to be your perfect people. But for the ones that are, you want to make sure that you're leaning into that relationship a little bit. What does your body language say? Are you like this when you're talking to them? Is your body language closed off, or are your arms down, your shoulders are back, and you're really genuinely looking at them with the intent to hear what they have to say? So, what's your body language saying? What are your facial expressions saying? Your tone, your, posture, and the same on their part as well. Now, we are looking for people that are like us, right? We always are looking for what's called like kind. On the Clinical Entrepreneur Podcast, episode 2, you can find it rondanelson.com/2, the number 2. My friend Michael Leibowitz was on the podcast with me, and he talked about how we want to find people. We're always looking for things that are like us. So when your patient walks in the door, they're looking for someone that they feel is like them. Kind of like zebras hang with zebras and lions hang with lions, humans hang with humans. But in all of humanity and all of the humans, there are some people that we just prefer over others. And there isn't anything wrong with that. So your patients are looking for the person that they can connect with. So if your body language is arms are crossed, you're leaning back in the chair, your legs are, you have a very defensive type of a posture, the patient's not going to feel warm and welcome and included and like you really want them to be a part of your community. So if you don't have enough patience, maybe this is the reason, my friend. You may just find that your body language is given away, that you really don't care and don't want them to be around anyway. I hope that's not true. But let's keep going. So patients want to be with someone who gets them. The last podcast last week, I talked about how to get to know your patient. Remember, I talked about how you want to find out those 10 plus key questions that allow you to really get to know your ideal patient. So this is where that comes in handy. It's just genuine conversation that you have with that patient while they're sitting there in front of you. And then another piece I think we often overlook is our why. Each one of us has a story to tell as to our why. And your story should be very well spoken on your website. So here's just a little aside, and this is a podcast conversation for another day. But on your website, your about page should not be about you. Newsflash, it should be about your story. It should be about your why. Why are you where you are? Why did you end up doing the profession that you're doing? Whether you're an optometrist or you're a DO or you're a chiropractor or you're a health coach, whatever your field is, why did you end up there? What was it that drove you there? What situation, circumstance, life event put you there? Patients want to know that because it makes you human, and humans relate with humans, not robots, but humans. They really want to connect with a real person. So don't be afraid to say, to tell them your story, to say, I got into this because I wanted to help people just like you, because my mom struggled with the same issues that you're struggling with. So I'm really committed to helping you get through this menopausal period when the hot flashes can be such a challenge. So let's get this going. They are going to breathe, the patient's going to breathe a big sigh of relief, like, oh, finally, I found someone who knows, who gets me, and knows exactly how to help me. Think about how it might be if you were at a dinner party, for example. When you're at a dinner party, you aren't just standing off in the corner, at least I hope not, with your arms crossed. You are chatting it up with people and you're asking genuine questions like, oh, well, how long have you done that? Or what do you do for your line of work? And, how many children do you have? Where do you live? And, what are you doing this weekend and what brought you here? You're just really engaging in conversation. It doesn't take more than just a few minutes in a patient appointment to just get to know them just a little bit. And each time, ask a few more questions, make notes about it. So if their dog's name is Roxy, then the next time they come in, you could say, hey, how's Roxy doing? I was thinking about Roxy this morning. The patients, oh, they'll be patients of yours forever. They'll never go away because you remembered something that's important to them. Because guess what? Newsflash again. It's not about you. It's not about me. It's about them and what's important to them. So keep your body language open. Don't be afraid to shake hands. Make that really genuine eye contact with them. Don't be distracted thinking about the sports game or a fight you had with your spouse or something going on with a child. Leave all of that at the door And when you walk in that room, you are 100% present for that patient, for that client right there and at that moment. You can pick up and drag around that other baggage if you want to once you get out in the hallway, my friend. But when you're in the room with that patient, all of that stays outside and you are completely 100% just one on one with that person, asking them, learning about them. What do they love? What are they afraid of? What's their big concern and how you can best help them? Allow them the ability to talk about themselves. So, one of the best ways that you can do this, you're not going to want to hear this. I'm just telling you, but I'm going to tell you anyway. One of the best ways that you can really connect with your patients outside of just that time that you have in that treatment or exam room is on video. Patients really do love to connect with their practitioners. And the best way that you can do that is by doing video, like live video. So last week in episode number 26, I talked about how you want to make sure that you've got that really good connection, but you know your patient well. This is exactly where that comes in handy because when you get on a video, let's say you know that your patients hang out on Facebook. So you are going to grab your phone and you're going to do a quick Facebook Live and you are going to talk all about how you found X because of your experience with Y and you know that they are experiencing Y too. Y as in the letter Y. But you want to make sure that you are being relatable. You want to convey that you get them and that you know them. But they also want to know that you're a real person just like them. So remember back to the example I gave you in the beginning. When you walk into that doctor's office and you're treated like a number, can I help you? Okay, sit down, be right with you. Take your vitals. What do you need? Here's a pill. Here's a supplement. Here's an exercise. Here's a prescription for a test or blood work. Okay, I'll see you in a month. Mm-mm. You can't build a practice like that. You can if you're an insurance practice and you want to still remain a slave to insurance, go for it, my friend. I'm not your person because I'm advocating that you have a cash practice that's profitable, that is not at the mercy of these insurance companies and what they're willing to pay and not willing to pay. You get to have life on your terms. You get to have a business on your terms. But the way that you do that, you have to change the way you think about your practice. It's no more of this like every 5 minutes in a patient run through. You can't do that. We have to play this game completely differently. And I don't mean game as in that it's a game. We have the board game, the rules of the board game completely change. When you want to have lasting long-term relationships with your patients, those lasting long-term relationships happen inside those four walls to start with in your clinic. And then they grow when you share who you are outside the walls of your clinic, like in Facebook, on a Facebook Live, that kind of thing. So, whenever you have an opportunity, you want to make sure that you are taking time to go be live, do your live thing. Don't hold back. Don't let there be that place where you just come in and do your doctor thing and then you check out. Don't do that. Be relatable, build connection, create community, and don't be afraid to share a little bit more about who you are, what you do, and why you are so passionate about being a practitioner and loving on your patients because that's what they want to hear. All right, my friend, take care. See you next time. Well, my friend, I hope you enjoyed that podcast episode. I did get a little ranty there, didn't I? But I'm so passionate about creating community and really making patients feel like they're important. There's so much disconnect in the world today. And at the time of this recording, we're still wearing masks and we're still supposed to be social distancing and people are not connecting. They don't feel connected. And now, medical practices and even some of our alternative practices, we are now doing everything virtual. We're doing Zooms and Skypes, and patients feel like they have this computer screen between them and the practitioner. And I don't like that. I want to do whatever I can to help them build relationships so that they stay, they get results, and then they can go and be great referral source for me and for you down the road, because that's really what it's all about, is to get them results. And then we want them to refer back because they did have such a great experience. So if you are feeling stuck, if you're feeling like you're not sure where to go, you're not sure what 2021 looks like, and this whole conversation about community and marketing and even getting on social media, good grief, that's a panic mode for some people. Would be more than happy to help you. All you have to do is go to rondanelson.com/practice growth and get signed up for a weekly email of practice growth strategies. And every single week, I'm going to drop a little nugget with you to say, okay, here's your to-do for the week. Here's your task for the week. That way, you don't have to do this on your own. I've been there. I know what it's like to have a practice, almost lose it, have it again, and almost lose it again, because that was my journey. And that's why I'm so passionate about helping you grow the practice that you love, that's profitable, and allows you to live a life that you want to live, not being stuck inside your practice, trading time for money. So I'd love to have you join me. Go to rondanelson.com/practice growth. Sign up for my weekly email. I promise I won't spam you. And I would be happy to be able to jump in your inbox and give you that little tip that'll help you take one more step forward to having a practice that you love. All right, my friend, have a great week. See you soon.